virtual learners. Today we're going to go over the 16 fonts, and then we're going to continue with the 6 descriptive words. So this is going to be a brand new lesson that you guys are going to work on this week. To create the 16 fonts, this is on our PS Learning page. You will be using fonts for design purposes in Photoshop. To start, you need to take a look at the fonts available. Follow the next steps to create a document with 16 very different styles of fonts. So you're going to start with a new document that's 8.5 by 11 inches, 300 resolution. I did find some old student samples of the 16 fonts, so you can take a look. This is what I'm looking for. So you're going to use the full piece of paper. Your name is going to be at the top, typed out, and then you're going to type the name of the font that you're using. So Jared typed in NovaNet Math Arial, and then he went on to describe what that looks like. It's a traditional font that could be used on a calculator or textbook. Example, calculator text. Then he goes on and he explains Old English text. You can make these whatever color you want. I do want them all on one piece of paper. Let's go to the next one. Here we have Laura Boltman. So she's got 16 different fonts here, and I want about 3 descriptive words for each of these fonts. I would prefer them to be in complete sentences because we are in high school now. Okay. Let's see. The Bauhaus 93, Brianna Grady says this font is bold and is curvy. This could be seen anywhere fun font is used. So just a sentence like that would be really helpful to let me know that you have thought about what these fonts mean to the different viewers. This is going to prepare us for the 6 descriptive words, where we're going to come up with different words. I should have some images of that too here. We're going to come up with 6 different kind of descriptive words. We are going to do a clipping mask. We are going to do effects. We are going to type the name or the word with and add in a shape in place of one of the letters. And we are going to have a scene or a background for it. So as I scroll through, you'll see some past student work. So by going through the 16 fonts, we are going to be preparing ourselves for the 6 descriptive words project. So really the 16 fonts is kind of like the introduction to this main part. I'm still going to grade the 16 fonts because I think it's very important that you take the time to explore the different fonts, learn how to use fonts in Photoshop. But the real actual art making will occur with the 6 descriptive words. You guys get to pick the words. I prefer them to be horizontal, so most of these are 11 by 8.5. The word fits pretty good in that piece of paper. So you can see like the word snow here takes up the whole width of the 11 inches. Their background picture has a filter applied. It looks really nice. The snowflake is in place of the O for the word snow. And then their effects is this black drop shadow. We'll talk more about this a little bit later. But I just want to give you guys some ideas of what other students have done in the past. And these are really good examples. And that's the popcorn machine I ordered for my parents for Christmas. Okay, so now let's go into how to actually make these 16 fonts. So we're going to make a new 8.5 by 11 inch 300 resolution piece of paper. So in Photoshop, this is an example that I started working on last year. You can see I've got my name, and then I start labeling the different fonts. So File New, and I'm going to label this 16 fonts. The width is 8.5 inches. The height is 11 inches. So it should be a vertical piece of paper, resolution 300, color mode RGB. Go ahead and create. And I'm going to be using my text tool. So it's a capital letter T. When you click on that in your options panel, you have your type of font. If you click on that, you can scroll through and you can see all of the different fonts you have available. Okay, so there's lots of them. When you come down to the bottom, please do not use a font that is not in English. So no different languages and no symbols. Okay, I want you to use a font that is actually physical English letters so that I can read them. You're not going to be using symbols or a different language to be writing things for your 6 descriptive words. So that, defeats the purpose of even doing this part of the assignment. So pick a font that is legible. I'm just going to pick this Copperplate Gothic Bold. The size of the font, I'm just going to keep at 18 point. Left justified is fine. And then the color of your font is going to come from here. So I'm just going to start with black. Now, I've mainly told you guys to not make a text box because it's constricting. But with the 16 fonts, it's actually really important to click and drag over your whole piece of paper. And this little lorem ipsum that comes up, this is actually default for Photoshop. It is Latin. So it's black, highlighted. If you hit delete, it goes away and it just gives you your blinking cursor. So I'm going to type my first and my last name, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and then I'm going to, and I can even move this up if I want so that it's right at the top of my piece of paper, or towards the top should be fine. Maybe I'll move these in just a smidge. You can do that too if you want, or it can go right to the edge of the paper. It really depends, but get it to be about the size of the 8.5 by 11. Okay, now I can start with my actual fonts. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to try to find one that looks interesting. So maybe I will start with Curls MT. So I'm going to type the number 1 and I'm going to type out what kind of font this is. So I can find the name of the font right up here, Curls MT. I'm just going to put a dash and now I'm going to start describing this font. So this font is swirly, whirly, and looks childish. It could be seen at a candy shop or Santa's workshop, and reminds me of being young. That should be pretty good. I've got a few descriptive words in here: swirly, whirly, childish. It could be seen at a candy shop or Santa's workshop. It reminds me of being young. This is 2 complete sentences. It describes this font really well. So if I couldn't, if I couldn't see this and I read this sentence, I could imagine what this font would look like. You can highlight this font. You can come up here. You can change the color of it. So maybe I want to do, like a hot pink for it, because that kind of goes with the way this font makes me feel. Then I can hit enter and I can do a second font. So I'm just going to scroll through here, try to find something that is interesting that I might want to use for my 16 fonts. Now, if I just use, these kind of simple fonts, maybe I just use like Lucida Bright, and then I use Microsoft New, and then I go down to like, Myraid Pro. There's not a whole lot I can do to describe these because they're kind of boring. So you want to pick fonts that are exciting and you're going to get a lot of like feel from them. They're going to make you feel a certain way. That's going to help you ultimately with the end of the project. So maybe I'll do the Vladimir script. So that's going to be my number 2. Vladimir script. And this font is cursive. Did I spell that right? Cursive. Looks pretty fancy and flows well. It is small and thin and looks like a signature. Okay. I can highlight this. I can change the color. This one looks a little bit more formal to me. So maybe I want to do like a dark blue or even like a black for it. That's just the vibe I get from this font. Oops. and then I can hit enter, and then I can look up a third one. So you kind of get the idea. I'm going to keep doing this until I get 16 of them. Let's do, trying to find some that are a little bit different that I might be able to use in the future. Sometimes it takes a little while to kind of go through and look and see. Maybe I'll use Joker Man. So 3 is Joker Man. This font is fun, different, and has cool shapes attached to the letters. I could use this if I were making a sign for something related to kids. Okay, I can highlight this and I can change the color. Maybe I want to do like a lime green or something that kind of makes me feel like that would be a good color for this. And then I can hit enter and do the next one. So my goal is to fit all 16 all the way down. If you do about 2 sentences per word and you do 18 points, that should fit on one piece of paper. Let's say that you like to write a little bit more than 2 sentences. You can highlight this and you can change the size. I would go try 16, see if they can fit on there. I would try, try to keep it 18 if you can, because it just looks a little bit better. But if you're someone who writes a lot, I will allow you to go down to 16. What am I trying to find? I'm trying to find my images. Where are they? There they are, Google Photos. So you can see these people used 16 for theirs, and they pretty much fit them all on one piece of paper. It helps if you number them. And then I also want you to write the name of the font and then describe it after. If you don't do 3 descriptive words, if you don't do full sentences, if your fonts aren't very interesting, you're not going to get the full points for this assignment. So just make sure that you are doing your best. So once I get all 16 of these, I am going to file save as, and I'm going to call these 16 fonts. I'm going to save them in Photoshop in my folder. So I'm actually going to go back, hit the back arrow a few times until I get to my folder. And then I'm going to go to computer graphics, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So I'm going to save this as Photoshop. And then I'm also going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to change my file type from Photoshop to JPEG. And you can see I've got my kaleidoscope saved right here, 16 fonts. I'm going to also put my last name in there, 16 fonts Feyereisen, JPEG. Go ahead and hit save and OK. Because this is what I'm going to have you post on our Google Classroom page so that I can see that you have done this assignment. So this will be the attendance for if you are 1, 3, 5, 7 for Monday. This is what I'm going to be taking attendance on. It needs to be posted in Google Classroom. If you are 2, 4, 6, 8 for class, I'm going to have you post on Tuesday for your hour-and-a-half class period for your Tuesday day. So this should not take you an hour and a half. It should take you maybe a half an hour. If you are not very good with words, it might take you 45 minutes. If you're a slow typer, it might take you an hour. That's fine. You have an hour and a half to work on this. So make sure you get it done in that time and get it posted. If this isn't done or posted, you will be marked absent for your virtual day until you get it finished up. So email me if you guys have any questions. I can bring up a Google Meet if you need some one-on-one help. So I will have that going in Google Classroom for you, but you should be able to remote in and do this on your own. When you are done with this, I am going to have you click in the lower left-hand corner to start the Windows button, and I'm going to have you go up to your avatar, the little silhouette of you. And I'm going to have you click sign out, because if you do not sign out, the next person that's going to try to remote in is not going to be able to do so because you are locked into that computer. So make sure you guys sign out when you are done remote accessing, please. All right, that is all I have for the 16 fonts. Be creative, have fun with this, pick some fonts that I've never seen before, and I hope to be wowed by this assignment.